SBA Publications.
Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope that you're doing very nice and reading well. Today I am here with our chapter number 8 of English literature, and it is going to be a very interesting and a very inspiring chapter. So, the name of our chapter is A Tribute to Humanity, Neerja Bhanot. So, it is the story of a girl, or we can say a woman, Neerja Bhanot, who acted very patriotically while she was attending a flight. So let's get started with the reading. Neerja Bhanot was born to Harish and Rama Bhanot on 7 September 1963 in Chandigarh. So she was born in Chandigarh. Her parents were Harish and Rama Bhanot, and later the family moved to Mumbai. Neerja was a sensitive and a compassionate young woman. Her inner beauty reflected on her serene, beautiful place. So she was very beautiful from the inside and from the outside. Following a conventional arranged marriage in 1985, she joined her husband in the Gulf. Under the strain of dowry pressure, Neerja returned home to her parents in Bombay within 2 months. So she was conventionally married to a man she didn't know. That means she was into an arranged marriage, but she was under the pressure of dowry. So she left her husband and she came back to live in Bombay with her parents. Neerja was a woman of dignity and strength. She would not relent to pressure of dowry. So, she is a very brave girl and she has a dignity of her own and strength. So, she denies the pressure of the dowry and she comes back. Her husband set humiliating conditions for her return to him, but Neerja's family did not comply. So, her husband tried very hard to get her back, but her family did not comply. The marriage had turned sour. Neerja decided to move on in life and she signed a modeling contract. So she decides to move on. That's why she signs a modeling contract, as she was already very beautiful. A little later, she undertook the training of a flight attendant with Pan Am. So later, she takes the training of a flight attendant. Immensely dedicated, Neerja made a responsible and committed flight attendant. Then she becomes a flight attendant. On 5th September 1986, she had returned from a day-long shoot for a modeling assignment. So she is doing both works. She is a model and she is a flight attendant. And on 5th September, she had returned from a day-long shoot. She was the senior flight attendant on the flight on which her courage was to be tested. So in the flight that she was in that day, she was the senior at that time. The test that made her so special to her country, to humanity. So she didn't know that she will be tested on this flight, and it is the same test that made her so famous and very much important for our country. At Karachi, the plane was hijacked by 4 heavily armed terrorists. So at Karachi, her flight was hijacked by 4 terrorists who were heavily armed. Immediately, Neerja rushed towards the cockpit to inform the captain. So she rushes towards the cockpit and tells the captain that our plane is hijacked. A terrorist caught her by her ponytail, but she managed to shout the hijack code. So the hijacker stops her from doing so, but she still finds herself able to tell him the hijack code. Another flight attendant who caught the code conveyed it ahead. What followed was a traumatic experience for all those on board. So she was able to get the message towards the captain, the pilot. The 3-member cockpit crew of pilot, co-pilot and the flight engineer exhibited great cowardice, and they were scared. They deserted the plane, and the 360 passengers and all 13-member cabin crew were left in the hands of the heartless terrorists. Neerja was the cabin crew leader. With grit and a deep sense of duty, she took over command. She kept the passengers calm and ensured that they were comforted. So, these 3 members, the pilot, the co-pilot and the flight engineer, they were cowards and they left all of them by themselves. And Neerja acted very bravely, she calmed down all the 360 passengers. She comforted them. She continued to serve and attend to the passengers' needs, and then she started to serve their needs. She realized that the terrorists would harm the American passengers the most. She thought that these terrorists, they would harm the Americans more. Hoping to confuse the terrorists about their identity, she discreetly collected all the American passports and hid them. So, what she did was she took all their passports and hid them. The trauma of the hijack continued for about 17 hours. So, they were hijacked for 17 hours. Since the power had begun to fail, the lights became dim. The terrorists thought that the passengers would try to escape in the darkness and it would be difficult to hold them at ransom. They began firing at random. Immediately, Neerja rushed to emergency door and pushed it open. So Neerja, in between the firing, she rushes towards the door and opens it. Desperately, she cried, "Get out! Run!" These words have not been forgotten by the survivors. They also recall how she guided and pushed people down the chute. So she was able to get all the passengers out of the plane, and she shouts that, "Get out, run." The most touching part of the entire experience was her death, and she dies while doing so. While trying to protect 3 children, she succumbed to the onslaught of bullets that pierced her body. So she protected 3 children from the bullets by using her body as the shield. The citation by Pan rightly says Neerja was called upon under the most difficult conditions, at the most difficult time, to step forward in a position of leadership. So the institute of hers where she has been trained for the flight, to being a flight attendant, they tells the media that she was called on leadership only when the situation was very difficult, and her heroic actions were clearly responsible for saving hundreds of lives. So they tell us that her actions were responsible for saving these lives. The Weekend Review remarked she was brave in life, brave in death. The only stewardess to have commanded an aircraft and held the hijackers at bay was an Indian. Neerja Bhanot received the Ashok Chakra, India's highest civilian award for bravery. So she has been awarded for her bravery. The Ashok Chakra citation states her loyalties to the passengers of the aircraft in distress will forever be a lasting tribute to the finest qualities of the human spirit. So everyone is appreciating her bravery, and they are telling us how she showed the greatness of humanity she had in her heart. She was awarded the Tamgha-e-Insaniyat, it's a Pakistani award, Flight Safety Foundation Award, and also the Medal of Heroism of the National Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. So she is awarded from these countries as well, as she has saved a lot of people who were from different countries. Neerja's parents were shattered yet proud of their daughter's heroism. They set up a trust with an initial amount of 36.5 lakhs. The trust honors and awards those who reflect the heroic qualities. So her parents have they have done a charity of opening a trust with the amount of 36.5 lakh rupees, and the trust offers awards to the heroic people like Neerja. The trust gives 2 annual awards of 1.5 lakh each. One award goes to an airline crew member who acts beyond the call of duty under trying circumstances anywhere in the world. The other award goes to an Indian woman who has fought against social injustices like dowry and desertion. These awards keep alive the memory of one of the bravest women of our country. So this was about Neerja Bhanot, and if you didn't know about her, I hope this chapter has inspired you and you are also proud of Neerja's bravery. Now let's read the vocabulary. Compassionate, sympathetic to suffering people. Chute is a tube or passage down which people can slide. Citation is an official statement about something special someone has done. Comply is obey a rule or order or request. Dignity is the sense of one's own value. Nirja was a woman of her own values. Dowry is the illegal custom of paying money or property to a husband by a wife's family when they get married. Desertion is the act of leaving someone with no intention of returning. Discreetly means a careful way about one's actions and words to do something secretly. Distress is danger. Flight attendant is a person who serves and takes care of passengers in an aircraft. Grit is courage and determination. Hijack is violently take control of an aircraft. Onslaught means strong attack. Relent means agree unwillingly. Serene means calm and peaceful. Sensitive means able to understand other people's feelings. Survivors means people who live after escaping from a great danger. Trust is the arrangement of authorizing some people to manage money or property. The Gulf is Arab countries located on the shores of Persian Gulf. So that's it for the chapter. I hope you liked it and you are inspired. Now you have to do this exercise by yourself. I will see you in the next video. Till then, keep on practicing. Bye-bye.